What up, though, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Chopping It Up with Uncle Chon. True stories. I got a real good one for you today. And I actually do this one with hesitation. I got permission from my brother to do it. So, thanks, Sly. uh, this story is set in Jasper, Alabama during the early 90s. Uh, Let me set this up. A couple of friends of mine, and I won't mention everybody's name, we invested into some illegal product and divided it amongst ourselves to sell. So one of the fellas took his and he went off and did whatever he wanted to do with it. The other two of us, the other guy, he gave me his portion to get rid of for him, and I also had my portion. So I employed a friend of ours to help me get rid of it. It's a guy named Creek. Jasper, you probably know Creek. Okay. Creek was not the brightest bulb in the pack. Not a very smart dude at all. Matter of fact, when he was in high school, he was in special ed. But he was a friend of ours. He was a cool guy. And I had no trust issues with him going up to this point. Now, Creek at the time was involved with this girl from a little town called Sulligent, Alabama. And come to find out that this girl liked to partake in the product in which we had went in on. So I'm steady giving Creek the product, and he's supposed to bring me back a certain amount of money. And he was doing fine at first, and then all of a sudden, he would come back to get something else, but he wasn't bringing me the money. But he was telling me he was going to give me the money or whatever, so I had no reason not to believe him that he wasn't going to give me the money. So when it was all said and done, when all the product was gone from my possession, Creek ended up owing me about $600. Okay, between me and this other guy whose stuff I had. So he started ducking me, where as before I could always get in touch with him. I could go by his house, he'd be there, or he would be somewhere where he would normally be, and I would, run into him, and we would, discuss whatever we needed to discuss or whatever, and everything would be cool. All of a sudden, I was unable to get in touch with him. So we had already known that his girlfriend was, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of put two and two together and was like, you know what? I think he been feeding this chick, our stuff, so he can continue to do what he been doing with her, you know. So that's why he don't have my money. So after about a week goes by, I run in the creek at a party over a guy named Willie's house. And I confront Creek, and he's kind of drunk or high. I don't know what the hell was wrong with him. When I seen him, he was sitting in a chair, kind of nodding out like a heroin addict or something. And I was like, hey, yo, what up? Hey. And when he seen me, he looked like he seen a ghost, because he was definitely trying not to see me. So I'm like, yo, what's up with that paper you owe me? And he started making up all kind of excuses and stuff. So I'm a little mad because it took me over a week to find him. So I might have laid hands on him a little bit. I might have slapped him upside the head or something like that. Like, yo, you need to get that paper. So he starts walking outside, trying to go to the car like he trying to go get something that wasn't my money. He was trying to go get something to fend me off of him, and when I noticed that, I already had that thing on me. So I'm like, dog, if you keep reaching for that door handle, I'm gonna have to do you something. So the people at the party was like, yo, don't do that here, whatever, whatever. So it got to be where it was kind of embarrassing. It was causing a scene. And if I had to end up doing something to him, everybody would have seen it. So I left. But I told him, I said, hey, you need to get that paper, And it's kind of messed up because, we were friends and I never had no problem out of this guy before. So I don't see him for like another week, or it might have been 2 weeks. It was an extended period of time. If you know anything about crackhead, they can hide. They know how to hide out. I mean, they know, I don't know what it is about them, but if they avoiding you, everybody will see them but you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying he was doing it, but I'm saying he had some crackish behavior. Okay, he was exhibiting the mannerisms of a crackhead. Okay, so as I'm not finding him, and the other guy who was an investor, he wants his paper, and he gave me his. So look at it like this way: he gives me his stuff, and he wants his paper back from it. So now I owe him, in a sense, So it's like you got my good name on the line too. So I'm pissed off. So one day I'm riding in the car with my brother Sly, and he had a little white Geo Storm at the time, and we just riding around, and we decide we was gonna go up to Lee's Chicken and get some chicken. So we ride up around Lee's, and Lee's is I can't remember the proximity, but we ended up going past Captain D's fish place. When I look in the drive-through, I see a car, and on the passenger side, I see Creek. Now Creek is in the car with two other guys. This guy named Cartridge and this guy named Lavelle. Now, when you add up the IQ of all three of these guys in the car, it adds up to one stupid person. The three of them together add up to one idiot, basically. There's no brains in the car. Okay? Now, Cartridge, I never had a problem with this guy. Every time I seen him, we spoke, we kicked it, we talked, we laughed, we joked. No problem with this guy. The guy Lavelle was a little younger, so I really didn't fool with him too much, but he was kind of a idiot. He was a hothead. He was real. He was a stupid dude. I mean, look, if Lavelle or Cartridge are still living and they hear this, I apologize, but that was my opinion of you at the time. I don't know what you're into right now, whatever, but yo, you some idiots, dummies, okay? And Lavelle was kind of a hothead too. So I tell Sly, I said, that's Creek over there. So, he pulls up and I get out the car. I run up to the car on the passenger side and I'm like, yo, Creek, what's up with that paper you owe me, man? I ain't been able to get in touch with you. And he starts trying to roll the window up. So, of course, I don't let him roll the window up, and I go through the window and give him a two-piece. Bow! Bow! So Cartridge and Lavelle start hollering at me, what you doing? You don't do that or whatever, So they kind of taking up for him. Of course, they riding with him, and that's their boy, obviously. So they did what they were supposed to do. They started talking, about how they was going, help him or whatever. So, I gave them a couple pieces, and they pulled off. And when they pull off, we don't chase them or nothing. We just go get our chicken and go about our business. So later on, maybe a couple of hours later, we see the car again. And we kind of get in behind them, and I tell Sly to blow the horn, and they blow the horn, and Cartridge is driving, and they pull over, I can't remember the name of the street, but it was a guy that used to fix cars. It was right over next to where he lived, this dude named LD. So we catch up with them in front of LD's house. And basically, I just want to talk to Creek about my money. So me and Sly are riding together, and the three of them are together. So we get out the car in the middle of the street. So I'm asking Creek about my money, and he ain't giving me no answers. So, I fire off on him a couple times. Bow, bow, bow. Give me my money. What's up? You gonna give me something or some collateral, something? So, Sly is talking to Lavelle, and I'm not aware of what's going on because I'm focused on Creek. Okay, so while Creek is like going around the car trying to get away from me, and this whole time the dude Cartridge is trying to sneak up behind me, and he had a bottle in his hand, so he was about to beam me with a bottle. Now I had already told Sly, this ain't none of your business. Don't get into it. Stay out of it. Let me handle it. You don't need to make no enemies out of people that you not, this is about some money. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Stay out of it. Okay. So I really wasn't even, I was prepared to take these three dudes on or have them beat me up or whatever. I was not expecting my boy to even help because it wasn't none of his business and he wasn't in it. However, that's my brother. So Lavelle and Creek is running around the car. Lavelle is trying to get in front of me to stop me from getting at Creek, and Cartridge is sneaking up behind me with a bottle. I believe Cartridge and Lavelle are related. I think they're cousins or something like that. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I do believe that. Anyway, so as Cartridge is sneaking up behind me, I don't even see him sneaking up behind me with the bottle. The next thing I know, I hear something go, bah! A gunshot. I turn around. Cartridge is holding the back of his head, and Sly standing up there with his pistol. I didn't know Sly had his pistol on him. Okay, number one, because he wasn't the type of guy to really carry. I mean, we all had, guns, because it's Alabama. It's easy to get, whatever. But Sly wasn't no violent person. He wasn't the type to even carry a gun. I mean, if he had to go get a gun, he usually had to go home and get his or whatever. He wasn't that type of guy. You remember that scene in The Wash where Snoop Dogg slaps the dude upside the head with the pistol and it goes off? Well, Sly was the first one to do that. Sly was the first one to slap a dude upside the back of the head and the pistol go off. I thought he had shot Cartridge. So I turn around and I look and I don't see no blood or nothing. So I'm like, oh. And I look at Sly like, oh, no, you ain't finna hit my boy with no bottle. And I started laughing because I had no idea that my homeboy had that thing on him. And I had no idea that he would pull it out and use it. I mean, he didn't use it, but you know what I'm saying? He was already, listen, I've been knowing this dude my whole life. But from that day to now, anything, you touch my homeboy, you say something, look, I got you. That's my boy. That's my mother. That's my brother. That's my brother. So when they see that, they jump in the car and they take off. So we take off. So I know. Now I don't think much of Cartridge, and I don't think much of Creek, but I know Lavelle is a hothead. I said, dude, this ain't the last of this. We're gonna have to do something with that dude. So I go to the crib and grab my shit. So we're not really looking for him or nothing. We just doing our thing, just going about our day. So as we're riding from what's called the Coke Oven, which is a side of town where black people live in Jasper, to the Frisco, which is another side of town where black people live. As we are driving down the street, we hear some pops. Pop, pop, pop. What the hell is that? We look behind us, It is Cartridge, Creek, and Lavelle. Lavelle's went and got a pistol, and they're driving behind us, and they're sitting. He's shooting in the air. So we take off. We take off, and we kind of outrun them or whatever. But as we're running from them, the police, because when we were over there by LD's house, somebody called the police already. Okay, we didn't know this. So the police are looking for both cars. Okay, so as we're driving towards Frisco, coming from Frisco is the police. So Lavelle and them are shooting in the air behind us when the police come over the tracks. So the police look us dead in the face and like motion for us to pull over or something like that. And I tell Sly, punch it. And it was two cars of police. One of them was this fat white police lady, and the other one was this police officer who everybody called Booty Earl. Okay? Now, Booty Earl was like family to a lot of people in Jasper. Like my grandmother, every time she see Booty Earl, she reminding, I used to change your diapers. I used to wipe your butt, and all of that type of stuff. So he knew Sly, me, he knew everybody. Creek, he knew everybody intimately. So the white lady, I guess she pulls their car over, but we, because we're going the opposite way and they passed by us before they knew it was us, we were able to go, and what we did was I told him to punch it. So we go to my grandmother's house, and we pull up in the driveway. We jump out the car. We take all the guns out the car. We run in the house, and my next door neighbor name was Ruby Ann. She's out in the yard, and we pull up in the driveway, and we pulling guns out the car, and we running in the house, and she looking at us just shaking her head. We run in the house, and we throw these guns, we hide them, and we go into the living room. We turn on the Super Nintendo, PlayStation, whatever it was. We turn it on, and we start playing the game. By the time we sit down and we get into the game a little bit, Booty Earl's knocking on the door. So we tell him to come in, just like it was like we tell Booty Earl to come in like he ain't the police, like he one of our homeboys or something. Yeah, come on in. He come in, he step in the living room, and he's like looking at us. He's just standing there looking at us, just looking with this look on his face. And we kind of looking at him, and he's like, look here, I already know what's going on. He said, I just want to ask you one question. Is this the end of it? Is this the end of it? And we looked at him, and we was like, yeah, Booty Earl. He's like, okay now. And then by this time, the fat white lady cop pulls up too. And she pulls up, and she's like, now you young men don't need to be out here fighting, and I heard there was a gunshot, and we're going to let it go from here, but we don't want to hear anything else. This is only in Alabama. In Detroit, we'd all went to jail probably, or got beat up at least. But so they, talked to us a little bit, and they left. And basically at that point, I didn't see Creek no more. I didn't never see this dude no more. I seen Lavelle a few times. I didn't see Cartridge no more. So it was a dead issue. It was just money gone. But my brother, Sly, hey, impressive. Most impressive. Anyway, that's the story. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, like, share, subscribe, comment. Give your boy a chance. You know what I'm saying? I'm new in these YouTube streets, and I'm coming up from the bottom, baby, but I'm coming up. So y'all go ahead and, help a brother out. Enjoy yourself. Have a good day. Thank you.